Hello and welcome to Cosplay Magic, the art of learning everything. Today, for episode 1, I'm going to show you how I grate a pattern. This is for cosplay or general use, and this is a mathless method that I use because I hate math. This is a discarded McCall's pattern I bought forever ago for $3, and today we're going to be making this top for a Belle costume. It's a pretty easy pattern to work off of, and that's why I chose it for this example. These types of patterns generally are for smaller sizes. This one only goes up to size 14, but I'm thick, so I need it bigger than that. Here's what you'll need. Your pattern, a pen, paper. You can use paper specifically for grating, or you can just use printer paper, a ruler, and tape. So this is what our pattern will look like when it's finished. What I want to do is extend the sides, and with this pattern, I will be making it longer because the pattern is sort of a crop top. I brought it down by 4 inches, but generally speaking, when resizing, you won't lengthen your pattern. It doesn't contribute to the resizing or grating. This would be considered an alteration to make the cosplay more accurate. Now I'm going to show you how I actually do the grating. The first thing I'm going to do is tape the paper to the size of what I'm resizing. The amount of paper you use will change based on the size of your pattern. With bigger patterns, you may only need to add paper to the sides, like this. Where this is a small pattern broken into multiple, even smaller pieces, 2 or 3 sheets will be enough for this one. Now take the piece of pattern and tape it down. Make sure the pattern is the correct side up so that we can still read it. This side of the pattern has important information like the number, where it goes, and how many cuts to make. The only sides that will need additional paper will be the sides including these grids. This side has these little lines, and this side doesn't. To save paper, put the flat edges on the sides of the paper. With this one, I'm going to line up the end of the curve and the top of the curve to the side we are resizing. I like to save as much paper as possible because I will be using this for the resizing or for other projects. Flatten the pattern as best as you can. Tip: if your pattern is really crumpled, you can lay a cloth over it and iron it. Once it's flat, we're going to tape it down. I like to tape as much as I can so it's nice and sturdy. I reuse my patterns a lot, and the sturdier, the longer that they'll last. Now get a scrap piece of paper. I don't know why I folded it, that's just a habit, it's not necessary. This is where the actual resizing or quote-unquote grating part comes in. This method is for people who don't like math, and this is how I do it. There are tons of different ways, this is just what's easiest for me. These guidelines here, there are 5. The pattern comes in 5 sizes. I resize them double the size that it comes in. If I make it and it's too big, I'll take it in. Starting at the top, I will put 5 notches to indicate the 5 sizes. Then, I'll slide the lowest line to meet up with the top line. Then I make a little notch to show where I'm going to be resizing it. I'm just extending to the exact amount. Some patterns you will see, like down here, the lines begin to condense smaller. Back to the top, you want to repeat the process down the length of the pattern. Continue to check that the notches still line up to be sure you're getting an accurate size. If the size gets bigger or smaller, make new notches and continue. See how the waistline is here and the pattern begins to curve? This method will ensure that the curve stays the same. Down at the end, these ones are so close together that I'm just going to eyeball it. Now, using your ruler, connect the new lines you made, or freehand it if you prefer. Now I'm going to extend the bottom. If you're extending the bottom, you want to extend it the same amount on all of the patterns. In my case, I'm doing 4 inches. I'm not going to include this part because it's not part of the grading process, just something I'm doing as an adjustment. Now cut. And there you have it. You want to repeat this process on every piece of the pattern that has the size grids. Now say you need it graded a lot more than this. That's simple. I hate math and I hate looking at numbers. So that's why I use this method, but it's still an easy process. You would figure out what size you are versus the largest size of the pattern. Count the number of the pattern pieces and divide it by the amount of inches that you need added. So say you have 5 pieces of your pattern and needed 12 inches added. That would be 12 inches divided by 5 pieces, which equals 2.4 inches. You would add that using a ruler instead of this paper. That method may be easier, and it is definitely more accurate for a lot of people. This method is just how I learned, and I prefer it this way. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate your view. If you have any suggestions of things that you would like to learn, because as cosplayers, we try and strive to be good at everything. So if you have any suggestions or requests, leave a comment and let me know, and I will do what I can. Thank you so much.